It's a pleasure to join you all here today. It's great that we can actually meet in person. I know there's there's obviously challenges around those things at the moment. I'll start by acknowledging the Ngarluma people upon the land that we meet today. It's great to see so many local businesses and representatives of the community here to talk about and understand some of these opportunities. There's probably three areas I'd like to focus on from a Woodside perspective. Firstly, the big picture. And it's a really exciting time, I have to say, in the company's history. We're going through some pretty interesting things. Secondly, I'll provide an update on the Scarborough development, and that's a development that I lead, and what it means for you in the room and the local community. And then lastly, as part of the local community, what we're doing in terms of understanding the potential opportunities, but also how we mitigate social impacts. And Chris has already spoken about some of the pressures there. So let me start with the big picture. Woodside, we've made some pretty big and transformative decisions in recent months, as you'd probably be aware. That has probably set us on quite an interesting path. A path that will make us larger, more diverse. We're going to have a deeper sort of portfolio, competing opportunities, and we're going to be a more significant provider of energy globally for many years to come. In August, of course, we announced the proposed merger with BHP, and then in the November timeframe, we announced the final investment decisions for the Scarborough and Pluto Train 2 projects. So as we look forward, our focus is very much being on a lower cost and lower carbon organisation, so we can continue to thrive through this really important energy transition that we're all working through. Something that our customers, our investors and stakeholders are really looking for. And Scarborough's got a big role to play. It's a gas project and provide energy which Australia and the world needs for many years to come, keeping houses heated, lights on, and enabling other industries as well. The project, of course, will be a significant contributor to Woodside's cash generation, which is equally important, because that will allow us to invest in future developments, including new energy projects. Woodside set itself a target of investing $5 billion up to the 2030 timeframe in lower carbon products. You can read more about that in our inaugural climate report that was released last week with our annual results. Our significant investment in new energy will position us as an early mover. We believe in this market and support the decarbonisation goals of our customers, and that's really important. Most of our customers are in this region and they've all got their own decarbonisation objectives. Gas will help them do that. In the Pilbara, of course, we're exploring, like Rio Tinto, some opportunities to provide new energy in this region, building on our existing assets and reputation of being a LNG provider and natural gas producer in the region. This includes a proposed Woodside power development at Maitland Estate, which will generate electricity through solar power, with a BESS system as well and other infrastructure to support it. And our Pluto LNG plant is a potential customer there. We've also recently announced that Woodside, BP and MIMI have joined up. We've got a consortium to look at feasibility studies with respect to carbon capture and storage project near Karratha as well. We know there's a lot of interest in relation to these areas. It's probably not the primary focus today, but in terms of new energy, we will ensure in due course that our experts get up here and talk to you more about those opportunities that are coming to this region, as they are in other areas that we're looking to drive those projects. But now more on Scarborough and Pluto Train 2. We're going to show a short video and hopefully it provides a good overview of the projects, but also the important role that gas will play in the world's energy mix. Then I'll speak a little bit more at the end of it about what it means for you in the room or those that are attending virtually. With that.
The Scarborough gas resource, located 375 kilometres off Western Australia's north coast, is a resource well suited to our times. Woodside's Scarborough interests include 3 gas fields, Scarborough, Phoebe and Jupiter, with a combined gross best estimate contingent resource of 13 trillion cubic feet of gas. Woodside will develop the Scarborough gas resource with a phased development drilling program of 8 initial production wells, with future drilling dependent on reservoir performance. The high-rate gas wells at startup would be tied back to a semi-submersible floating platform moored in 950 metres of water. The approximately 30,000-tonne topside will have the processing facilities for gas dehydration and compression. Scarborough infrastructure will provide opportunities for future tie-in of the Phoebe and Jupiter gas fields, along with other third-party gas developments in the region. Gas will be transported through an approximately 430-kilometre pipeline for processing at the Woodside-operated onshore Pluto LNG facility, where a second gas processing train will be built, Pluto Train 2. We're committed to reducing emissions, setting new interim and long-term targets to achieve net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050 across the two-train Pluto LNG facility. To get there, we have adopted design-out principles and proven technology for Pluto Train 2 to deliver high reliability and lower emissions intensity compared to the international and Australian average. This includes the use of aeroderivative gas turbines for liquefaction and inlet air chilling, providing higher thermal efficiency and lower greenhouse gas emissions. The Scarborough development would process up to 8 million tonnes of LNG every year for international and domestic markets, with first cargo targeted for 2026. Modification to the existing Pluto Train 1 will enable processing of up to 3 million tonnes, combined with the 5 million tonnes capacity of Pluto Train 2. Additional domestic gas infrastructure will be installed at the site to enable processing of up to 225 terajoules per day for the Western Australian market. As the world transitions towards net zero and the use of renewables continues to grow, Scarborough will play a key role in supporting countries that still lack access to affordable and reliable energy. At home, our energy needs are increasing. Developing Scarborough will ensure gas in Western Australia remains reliable and abundant, providing enough energy to power the homes in 10 cities like Perth for more than 30 years. Scarborough will support a strong economy, creating and sustaining thousands of jobs in Western Australia, providing ongoing supply chain opportunities and generating revenue to government through taxes for decades to come.
Very good. Look, super exciting projects, obviously, and I think you'll agree that the video there gives you a pretty decent sort of corporate overview, but some of you are probably still sitting there wondering what it means for you and the community at large. So, look, projects like Scarborough and Train 2 clearly bring opportunity for economic benefit to a region like this, both direct and indirect. There'll be obviously several years of construction and then many years of opportunity in the operational phase, which will go for decades. However, we're also aware of the and understanding the planning required for the potential environmental, social and cultural impacts, and I want to talk more about those aspects also. But let me first touch on some of the opportunities, and I'll start with construction. As you've heard there'll be around about a 4-year construction period that'll start this year on the Pluto Train 2 project. Bechtel are our main contractor for the Pluto Train 2 development, and it's great to have some of their representatives here with us today. Bechtel bring many years of Australian LNG project experience as well as global experience to the table. They've got a lot to offer. Woodside and Bechtel have been focused together on providing opportunities for local and regional suppliers and jobs during the construction phase. And together with Bechtel and the Karratha District's Chamber of Commerce and Industry, where we'll be hosting several supplier and community forums over the coming days, and look forward to hearing more from you and also about your capabilities. We hope to see many local businesses there as possible. And there are a number of opportunities that are laid out on the slide here that could be of interest to local businesses, we feel, including bulk services, equipment hire, transport, etc., and a range of services required to support the construction phase. We've highlighted a couple of sites there that on the slide where you can find more information. Bechtel is coordinating direct employment opportunities during construction. This will come in waves, of course, requiring different specialists and trades as the project evolves. We'll expect there'll be some construction roles filled locally, but we'll also be looking to draw from the wider region, given the scale of the project and the types of roles that are required. Overall, Scarborough and Pluto Train 2 together is expected to generate a peak workforce of around about 3,200 in the 2024 timeframe. It'll be a gradual roll-up though, a bit of a slow roll. As you probably already recognise, at the end of this year we anticipate around 300 jobs here locally, and then it'll peak out, as I say, in 2024. From an accommodation perspective, Bechtel is building, it's already started construction on a 2,500 bed accommodation village on Mannequin Road to house its construction workforce. Once construction is complete, that will be removed. Bechtel's residential housing requirements will be small. Most of the folks will live in the camp. There'll be a handful that will need to be housed in the local community across the life of the project. As you heard on the video, we're targeting first gas in 2026, and then of course there's many years after that of opportunities during operation, so that's worth touching on as well. So Scarborough is really important to Woodside and the community in that it will extend our 40-year history here for many more years to come, offering operational and residential workforce opportunities in the region. We estimate at the moment around 70 residential operational roles will be created here in Karratha during operations as a result of this project. And these jobs are part of an estimated 600 operational roles that will be sustained or created through this development here in Western Australia. There'll also be ongoing opportunities during operations for local business, of course, and we'll continue to promote those through KDCCI forums and other engagement forums. Sorts of opportunities for local business are not dissimilar to what you see today, so facilities management, support for turnarounds and ongoing maintenance, as you see at the existing assets. So there's lots of opportunity, but we're also here to talk about some of the potential impacts and make sure our projects are a net benefit to you and the community. The key area for us is protection of culture and cultural heritage. And we've been working with traditional custodians for over 2 years now, including Murrujuga Aboriginal Corporation, in the lead up to Pluto Train 2 and Scarborough being invested upon in November last year. We've been working closely with them to ensure our processes and our execution planning are informed by traditional custodian advice and input into the management of Murrujuga land and seascapes. We'll continue to work and support the Murrujuga Rock Art Strategy, which the state is implementing in partnership with MAC. And Woodside also supports the World Heritage listing of Murrujuga cultural landscape and the coexistence of industry and heritage. We're also acutely aware of the potential social impacts, and Chris has raised some of those today, that projects like ours can bring, particularly during construction. So extra traffic, people wearing PPE, high-vis PPE, more people coming to town, associated pressures on housing, childcare and health services. It's already been mentioned. As part of our commitment to the region, we'll actually be refreshing our social impact studies, which we've done in the past. We'll be refreshing that this year to understand and optimise the opportunities associated with this project and mitigate any potential negative impacts. We also know there are other projects coming, including our own, but also you've heard from Rio, and there are others also. So we'll be giving some thought also to those developments and how we best support the City of Karratha and the Government of Western Australia to understand and plan for these. We've got a social impact consultant, Umwelt, and they'll be in town next month engaging with local people and businesses so we can better understand and plan for the future. I encourage you all to share your thoughts and ideas with the KDCCI, who will represent local business in these discussions. I'm also pleased to share that Woodside has already been proactive in some of these areas. So in housing, you may recognise we're working closely with local stakeholders on some of these housing strategies. We sold more than 40 Woodside managed houses in 2021, and they were sold incrementally on the local market. And we're providing affordable purchase opportunity for local families through doing that. We're partnering with the City of Karratha and Rio Tinto to provide 15 houses to the service workers' affordable housing strategy, and we're now finalising discussions with the local supplier to build and lease back 20 new houses. In childcare, through our Woodside Development Fund, we've recently announced a flagship initiative with One Tree in Roebourne, building capacity and capability for early childhood educators and access to early cultural learning. So really important there. And lastly, in healthcare, through our support for the Medical Services Equalisation Scheme, again with the City of Karratha and Rio Tinto, so these partnerships are really coming through. We've been supporting vital healthcare workers to live in the community. Also provided housing support to health professionals who've been delivering COVID-19 vaccinations in Roebourne. So, look, in wrapping up, it's been a pleasure to talk to you all. If you'd like to know more about the project opportunities that are coming or have questions, please visit us at the supplier and community engagements in the coming days. Or reach out to our local community relations team. We've got Kane Gortland and others here representing us today. They're based here in Karratha Quarter and also in Roebourne. We certainly welcome your feedback and ideas. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, so thank you.